Counting every shadow on the ceiling, like I'd been here before. Breathing, begin again. You are not your yesterday. Every tear, every tired mistake, falling off like borrowed names. Breathing, begin again. You're the sky, not just the rain. You are here, you are golden, all the same. Oh, made friends with the quiet this morning. Coffee in a chip blue cup, sun on the dust. I blessed every wrinkle in the mirror. Said thank you for carrying us. Breathe in, begin again. You are not your yesterday. Every tear, every tired mistake, falling off like borrowed names. Breathe in, begin again. You're the sky, not just the rain. You are here, you are golden, all the same. Who told you you're only the breaking? Who told you you're only the bruise? There's a wild, bright, steady flame sleeping in you, sleeping in you. Begin again. You are not your yesterday. Every tear, every tired mistake, falling off like borrowed names. Breathe in, begin again. You're the sky, not just the rain. You are here, you are golden, all the same. So golden, so golden.
Good morning to everybody on social media. It's good to see you all. We are only on YouTube and Facebook, so if you can find us this morning, you're going to have to look in, well, Facebook, YouTube, and also on Clubhouse. It's 7 o'clock. It's Motivational Monday, and I am MJ, and you're here again. And can you believe we are almost in the middle of June? She says in the first week of June. Actually, it's not quite the middle, is it? But it is the mess in the middle. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we are talking about joining the dots between well-being and wisdom and, well, surviving. I'm also going to talk to you about my blood test results, which is a bit crazy, isn't it? Like, what would you be talking about your blood test results for, MJ? Well, I'll be honest, it's part of my survival story, and it's definitely an indication of the power of consistency over time. And consistency, guys, it beats intensity every time. Every time. And excuse me if I do happen to just need to process my breakfast, which, by the way, was liver and onions. So if you've not eaten offal this morning, we'll get on with it. Frankie, my head of service for Access to Work in the UK with Accessibility Partners, the company that I run, said this morning, I just can't eat liver. And I said to her, just get on with it and stop whining. Of course you can. You can put whatever you like in your mouth and swallow it. We are what we repeatedly do. We are. Excellence is not an act. It's a habit. Aristotle was summarized by Will Durant, who said that we are what we repeatedly do, is what Aristotle actually said, but he just coined it. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. So good morning, beautiful people. Send this room out to other people, because I always think when they find us, it's a little bit of a miracle. and I get back chat channel, I get calls on Facebook, I get messages on Insta, I get people contacting me on LinkedIn who say, I've been following you for 18 months and I'm wondering if you can do something for me. I want to talk about something extraordinary today. Extraordinary. But not because it happened overnight, not because this weekend I'm suddenly going, hey, oh, James is gone, we've got some connection issues. Not because I'm going, oh, look what happened to me miraculously overnight, because I don't know, I rammed myself with a pen or something. I'm talking about those injecting pens that people use, and they all are, the whole world, I'm telling you. And not because it was easy. And certainly not because it was perfect. I am far, far, far from perfect, you'll be glad to hear. 5 years ago, some of you know, and some of you don't, I was intubated. My family was told I wouldn't survive. Multiple of my organs were failing. My heart, my liver, my lungs, my kidneys. And the question in the hospital was not about my longevity. The question was whether I was going to see another day. I was back in hospital many, many times, and I spent many months. Fast forward to today, I know I say I'm 21, but I'm not. I'm chronologically 55 years old. I don't feel anything. The bottom half of my body, I self-catheter. I have to inject 3 times a day to keep my bowel working. I have to self-cath 6, 7 times a day. It's not an easy gig. But I swim. I do weights. I do sit-ups. And I have been toning up and losing fat for, well, many years. And my strength is phenomenal. I may not be the tiniest I've ever been, but I'm certainly the strongest. And my blood test results, well, they tell a remarkable story. And it's not a story of perfection. It's a story of consistency. So I'm going to take a new slant on the 7. The Magnificent 7. Now, normally, the Magnificent 7 for me is eating right, sleeping right, drinking right, moving right, thinking right, speaking right, and pooping right. But today, I want to talk about the 7 markers of health. 7 reminders that small changes compound, and 7 opportunities for all of us to ask ourselves better questions. So, number 1. What's your cholesterol? Because if you don't know it, you can't. If you're not measuring it, and if you're not measuring it, you're guessing it, and if you're guessing it, you don't know. And it's important. The target is to be below 5. Mine is 4.28. The question I've got for you is, what are you feeding your body and your mind? Not just the fact that I ate offal for breakfast, liver and onions, because we don't just consume food, do we? We don't. We consume stress. We consume news. We consume our relationships. Our thoughts can consume us in fear or in hope or in value. Eat more things that came from God and fewer things with barcodes, is what I'd say. Walk more if you can walk. Swim if you can't. Do weights if you can't get in the pool. Stress less. Remember the song at the beginning, breathe in and begin again. Because literally, I have never met anyone, including those people on, I don't know what they call it in America, when you do something terrible and then you're on death row for about 100 million years, right? They're not dead yet. They survived whatever it was they did. And remember that your body is listening to everything. Check your cholesterol. If you don't know it, there's a very simple blood test. You can ask your doctor. if you want to know it. Now, the so-called bad cholesterol, number 2, LDL cholesterol. Yeah? Mine is 2.14. My question is, what's yours? And my question to you is, what baggage are you carrying that you no longer need? We talked about it last week with a new moon. Resentment, old identities, other people's opinions, your value. Travel light, because forgiveness isn't for them. It's for your arteries. Literally. Your cellular function will change when you forgive others everything. And I'm in a massive period of forgiveness for my father. And I'm very grateful that he helped me to exist. So number 2 is about your arteries. And now to the other part of cholesterol, because we need to make sure we understand what it is, right? Your HDL, your good cholesterol. HDL's like a recycling truck. It cleans up excess cholesterol, and mine is 1.74. Look it up. It's phenomenal. So your question for number 3 is, what cleans you up? Is it prayer? Is it laughter? Is it swimming? Is it music? Or is it like yesterday, nature, because I went to Bristol Zoo, actually, Zoo Project. It's about helping our gorillas, and I have a gorilla friend with me. It's about helping our gorillas and our other animals stay alive. Is it friendship? Is it the value that you give to yourself? Don't just remove stress, add some joy. People say, oh, I haven't got time to do things like go to the zoo. Yes, you have. Plan it, put it in your diary, decide it, design it. Your week is up to you. Health isn't just the absence rather of disease. It's the abundance of life. It's the presence of life. It's choosing life over choosing procedure. And then, well, triglycerides. Ever heard of them? I'm calling it number 4 today. I seem to be rushing through this today, and I don't mean to. However, I am still processing my breakfast and my supplements and my movement and my skincare routine, which actually is showing rather marvelously, I have to say, this morning. And people are commenting on just how good my skin looks. My triglycerides are at 0.87. Just beautiful. It means when you have low triglycerides that the body isn't storing excess energy. I'm eating what I need, not what I want. I'm eating what my body requires, not what it desires. Question to you, where am I storing things, and to myself, that should have been released already? And for anyone that does want to learn the emotional freedom technique of tapping, then give me a shout up and we will undertake a tapping class, because I went and delivered to a whole conference of Senkos in London, and only 3 people in the room knew what tapping was. And if you don't, then you need to, because it's how we release things that we have been storing, and that includes fat, right? I believe the EFT, emotional freedom technique, releases fat stored because it's in us viscerally. It's in our tissue. The body keeps the score. Are you holding old grief? I was. I am. Old shame of who you used to be, even though yesterday's gone and tomorrow isn't here yet. So not a lot of moaning to do really about any of it, because right now you're doing okay, right? You're not dead yet. Old shame. Shame of who we were. Old habits. things that we might still be doing, but we're deciding right this minute we're not going to do anymore. The value we gave ourselves. Release what no longer serves you. Remember what Elsa said. Let it go. And for once, Disney and psychotherapy agree. Let it go. Let it go. Letting it goes for you, not for other people. Now then, number 5, can you guess? It's your blood sugar. Now, this one's a weird one. It's your HB, and for those that are medical, they'll get it. I'm just learning. Your HbA1c. It's an important number. It's your blood sugar. It's how you are processing the sugar that you take, whether that's natural sugar or otherwise. Mine is 39. No diabetes, no pre-diabetes. And my question here when I think about blood sugar is not just whether sugar spikes me, because that's how we retain fat, right? But what spikes me naturally? Is it people? Is it deadlines? Is it social media? Is it traffic on a morning to work? Is it when people devalue you? Mine are when numbers and letters go together, like dates and times and bank account numbers and amounts. When I don't have those in one place, I just can't carry out the practice. I need everything in one place, in one message, so that I can translate it to my bank or whatever it is I'm meant to be doing, my calendar. Learn your triggers. Work out what it is that isn't quite your cup of tea. Oh, or your cup of coffee. Hang on, I don't want this going cold. The most magnificent coffee in the world has one of my magnificent 7 in it. Edible reishi mushrooms. It's why I've got shiny skin. It means reishi mushroom means shiny skin. Ganoderma luceum, the lighting up of our skin. And over 5 years I have been taking those products. Learn your triggers. Protect your peace. Not everyone deserves front row seats in your nervous system. Not everyone. Be selective. Now then, number 6, can we guess? It's our thyroid function. Mine is literally perfect. It should be between 1 and 3. Many are not. Mine's at 2. The thyroid is the body's thermostat, I'm told. I guess my question is to my own self, outside of what thyroid literally means, what temperature am I setting? Am I always running hot? Not anymore. Am I always stressed? Nope, because it's not important enough. Am I always rushing? Sometimes I'm speedy, but to be honest, no, not anymore. Not even if I'm late. I'll be magnificently late. I usually find that I arrive exactly the time I'm meant to arrive. And because I trust in that, I don't get stressed. And funnily enough, I usually get there, well, on time. If you're always stressed, if you're always running hot, if you're always raging, slow down. Value yourself. Rest is productive. We lose weight when we're resting. Yes, get to bed and lose some weight. We process the day before when we're resting. It's how we come up with magnificently fantastic new ideas. Recovery is as important as training. Do not imagine that sleep does not contribute to muscle build, because it's when you build muscle. Sleep is medicine. Sleep is medicine for the thyroid. It's medicine. And you need to be measuring your medicine output. I don't particularly enjoy taking the supplements I take every morning. It's preparing a stack like you've never seen. And I'm happy to share the supplement stack that I take on a morning. If anyone wants to know, I'll get them out and talk to you about them in a bit. Recovery is part of everything, and so are supplements. Now, number 7, your GGT about your liver health, apparently. Mine is excellent. It's at 18. The liver, like I've eaten some this morning, is the body's detoxification plant. It's what processes everything. Keep your liver clean. Keep your liver without any fatty liver's not good. Keeping your liver processing things great. And I guess my question here is, what are you trying to process? I'm processing my relationship with my father, my late father. He went under a bus when I was 17, I think, possibly by choice. But either way, it took him 6 weeks to die, and I had to turn his life support machine off. I was a baby. What are you trying to process? What are you trying to heal? What am I still carrying? My own value and not having a dad. He hadn't been in the family since I was 11. My own forgiveness of the fact he couldn't be there for me. Look, healing requires us to hydrate. Water, water, water. If you're hungry, drink. If you're thirsty, drink. If you're tired, drink. If you're grumpy, drink. If you're discombobulated, drink. If you're feeling sad, drink water. Always be drinking the water. Whatever the response, angry, happy, joyful, hysterical, drink blooming water. We are water. We're moved by the moon, and the moon controls the tides. And we are water. Hydrate and laugh and move, for goodness sake. And love. Love deeply. Love yourself deeply. Look in the mirror and explain that you are unconditionally and irrevocably in absolute love with yourself. Stare deeply into your own eyes and explain to yourself that you're safe here now and that you survived, because that little you, he doesn't know. They're still sitting in the throes of trauma, wondering whether survival is possible. Remind them that you're here. Now, here's the secret. Listen up. None of these numbers changed in a week. They did not change in a month. They didn't change because of one motivational quote I read last week. They changed because of thousands upon thousands upon thousands of ordinary decisions, repeated, again and again and again. James Clear says, every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you wish to become. So let me ask you, what are you voting for? Because everything you put in your mouth, every meal is a vote. Every morsel, every movement, every stroke, every step, every second of your decision to move your body, even if it's picking up a tin of beans and holding it above your head 10 times. Every movement is a vote. Every swim is a vote. And every act of self-kindness about that is a vote. And the good news, and there's loads. There's so much good news. Number one, you can breathe and begin again. But you don't have to win every election. You don't. You don't. Your body does forgive you. You just have to win most days and no excuses. No, oh, I'll start tomorrow. Mañana, mañana, mañana. Seize the day for a better tomorrow. I always forget that second half of that saying. Why get on with it today? Because tomorrow you'll thank yourself. I thank myself every day when I get on my Omeo, which has a weight limit, and I'm within it, and I wasn't when I began. When I ordered my Omeo, I was not within the recommended weight limit for using it. It's a seated Segway, and you have to have good control over it. And if you're too heavy, you're going to throw yourself off it. So I did something about it because I wanted something to move around on that I felt sexy in. And I do my Omeo, and it got fixed on Saturday. Unfortunately, my carer had unplugged it and left it unplugged while I was away. They'd unplugged it to hoover up, and the batteries within it are £1,400. So it cost me £1,730 on Friday. I didn't feel like I was winning that day, but I do now. My Omeo is fixed. There's now a laminated guide on the wall that says, "Do not unplug this. The lithium batteries are worth a fortune." But you just have to win most days. I haven't been able to use my Omeo for a bit, but that's okay. I have an active wheelchair. I have a local authority wheelchair. I've got a 4x4 standing wheelchair and my Omeo. Why? Well, you don't wear the same pair of shoes for everything, do you? You don't walk up a mountain in sandals. And if you do, you're a bit foolhardy. So my wheelchairs are like your shoes. I need a wheelchair for each event. That's why I have an active wheelchair. It's why I have a hand cycle. It's why I choose to move and make my muscles hurt in order, hey, good morning, in order that I can survive. So my discussion questions for today. And we're just coming up to the past, which leaves it to you guys, and you're welcome to come up and talk, and I'll just review what I've said. I've talked about 7 areas today. I've talked about my blood test results. I've talked about my cholesterol. I've talked about all of those important parts, pre-diabetes, diabetes, all of it, my thyroid, and I've tested them. What area of your health needs the most? You're going to think I'm going to say action, but I'm not. I'm going to say compassion. What areas of your health need the most compassion? What habit for you, like mine over the last 6 years, have changed your life? And what are you carrying that you know needs releasing? You know, you could even just ask yourself, what's one thing that you could repeat this week? Ask yourself, what would consistency look like for you? And as I explained at the beginning, are you chasing intensity or are you building your identity? I think that people overestimate what they can do in a month, but they underestimate what they can do in 5 years. 5 years ago, I was told I wasn't going to live. Today, I am planning how to live well. And perhaps that is the miracle, not that I survived, but that I kept showing up. I'm sure you all know that ancient Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. So this Motivational Monday, let's not concentrate on speed. We live in an instant society. Now, yesterday. Well, concentrate on your systems, your magnificent systems, your blood test results, the evidence of the action that you're taking. Don't just talk about it, measure it. But don't concentrate on perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. Practice means progress, not perfect. concentrate on consistency, because consistency compounds, and compounded consistency changes everything. I'm here today. I'm living proof that concentrating on the Magnificent Seven, remember, move right, eat right, drink right, think right, talk right, poop right, and sleep right. Concentrating on those very simple adages. It's simple to do, really easy not to do, though, will create consistency, and consistency changes everything, including your blood test results and your organ activity. I love you all very much. And we have been joining the dots between well-being, wisdom, and wonder. And I wonder this morning whether every action you take is a vote for the kind of person you wish to become. Because those thousands of ordinary decisions repeated is a vote for who you are to be. Whether that's your meal, your swimming, your voting, your any type of self-kindness. But you don't have to win them all, just most days. So, what area of your health needs the most compassion? What habit has changed over time? What are you releasing or carrying that you no longer need? And what could you do to repeat one thing this week? And what would consistency look like for you? There are a lot of questions, and I'm sure there's a lots of answers, and I'm sure you've all got something wonderful to tell me this week. I know that Alexia and I and James and I have carried out consistency for many years now, and I believe that that means a great deal. Alexia, how are you this morning, my love? Good morning.
Well, I've been listening to my body over the weekend because we tend to get that, and that's exactly what you brought up this morning, is about what you eat, what you drink, and drinking for me is difficult. I don't have a catheter like you, and because I had a hysterectomy, I can't always wait. So that's can be a problem with pads. And we all know that can, same as with the catheter, that can cause quite a lot of discomfort and irritation. But when you treat those irritations naturally, it's surprising how much quicker they calm down.
100%.
I'm not saying don't use the medicated things we get, but it's too easy to do that. And quite honestly, sometimes they don't actually work. They just want you to think they work. If somebody gives you a placebo, very often you'll find that will work just as well. Now, I do have an underactive thyroid, and I can't play games with that one. And I know how I messed that up by pushing my body too far, not listening to what it was saying. I want to relate what MJ is saying, not only to what you eat and drink and how you live your life, is how you treat this planet. If you want to see how serious things are becoming, go and watch some of Sky TV there, what's going on in the rest of the world. I can't remember what channel it is. But what is actually happening in this hot weather, I'm sure some of you, whether you're walking normally, use a mobility scooter or wheelchair or whatever you do, have noticed how uneven the pavements are coming, where all these potholes are coming from. It is happening because the planet is swelling and contracting. What is actually happening in Asia and India and some of the other countries where the hot weather is becoming so hot, the road is literally blowing up, literally in front of traffic. And I don't mean a crack. I mean enough that if the traffic doesn't stop, they're going to go down a big hole. So it is now critical that you stop and take time to think about what you're doing for yourself. You can't change the bigger picture, but you can take steps towards it by what you do, what you use, how you dispose of it, most of all, how you treat others. The other thing MJ brought up is letting things go. A lot of you, but not everybody will know, I was completely wiped out by fraud. I was a very wealthy lady and woke up enough in the bank. My brother still thinks I'm a stupid sister who's got no idea of finance and running a business. It's his choice. I have to let that go. But I didn't stay there. I went and looked for opportunities. I went and worked for charity and then was a manager. Life has opportunities for us. Sometimes we don't see them. Why did I become the earth healer? Gandhi was my teacher on that one, because the thing I find most frustrating is when people throw rubbish on the street. That really can make me react, especially, and I can show you pictures I've taken of massive plastic that I've cleared that I shouldn't have done. And I was 72 when I was doing it with a damaged leg. And the only way I could move it was fixing a trailer to my mobility scooter. But I had to learn to let that go, because if I carried that aggression, I wasn't going to get people to see what change means. What I'm going to do at some point this week is find some photos and post what I used to pick up and what I picked up yesterday. It wasn't much quicker than it would have been doing some of the bigger things I've done, but 90% of it was cigarette ends and sweet packets. There are some neighbours that think it is great their bin's full. Oh, I'll go and dump it in a corner somewhere. If you know that neighbour, put them up on Facebook. You don't have to put their name, just put their house number. Oh my God, that won't have to make them react. They don't like it. They will stop doing it. I had a neighbour who was doing it. I asked her nicely several times not to do it. She didn't like it when I put it out on the local town site, Facebook. Guess what? She's not done it again. But that is taking things to an extreme. When you lead by example, which is how Gandhi changed in India and got independence for India, wasn't by violence. It was by silent protest. Well, sometimes I do have to take people on about what they do. But if I need to react to it, there's something in me that I need to get rid of. And MJ said the most important thing of all about letting go what happened to her dad. It will still come back to you, whether you're spiritual or not. It will come back. I still have my moments come back of wanting to think, excuse the language, how the hell could I be so stupid as to be defrauded? Let it go. The universe will solve that problem, but you do have to take action steps for what you do and how you do it. One of the greatest things you've heard me talk about, my little dog, she wasn't really beaten up, but she just wasn't treated that well. It's interesting, in the last week, she's actually going for a proper walk. It's like, well, Mum, you said you wanted to be able to walk better after your surgery. I think I'll go for a proper walk today. We were out for 3/4 of an hour yesterday. And I have to say, I shouldn't have gone out and done the rubbish afterwards, but Sunday's a good day to do it. And I did pay for it for the rest of the day. But I've got to find a balance. I can't always do that every day because my brain injury takes a little bit of time and care to deal with. because what it actually does is upset my balance. That's is a minor thing. So I have to take responsibility for that. If you're a religious person, then you've heard of Mother Teresa. For many years, Mother Teresa, and this is a true story, you can go and find it for yourself, had a growth on her leg. And she wouldn't have it treated because she believed that was their thing from God that she had to deal with, till in the end it became so big that it became obvious to everybody else and something had to be done. Don't let things get to that stage, but don't expect them to change overnight. One step at a time, one movement at a time. But whatever you do, don't forget love and gratitude. So I'm going to finish by giving love and gratitude to MJ, to James, because what you put out comes back to you. And what I'm about to do shortly in a minute is do another donation to charity, because I work quite closely with a company that finds people through the world that need support to start their businesses. And yeah, I'm struggling to start a new business, but I can still help others. And I'm going to make another donation. I'm going to find someone else that needs support to either get business going or needs some other kind of support. And the company, if you want to look them up and contact me, is called Lend with Care. The reason I do it that way is because I know where the money is going. I have to agree to pay it back to you. It might only be £1 at a time, but through doing that, I've done about 5 or 6 different people that I've helped. And I've now done 3 people, which has actually cost me nothing because it's come back from the money that's come back from others. So what a wonderful way to give. So I'm going to hand over to MJ again now.
Thank
Have
you.
week.
Wow, Alexia, what fantastic reflections on those 7 parts of the questions that I asked about what to let go of and what to keep going with and what to repeat and how not to hold that anxiety and that anger and that frustration inside. Look, before we get to James, I met a gentleman a week and a half ago called Dr. Ian Price. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show this on social media, but you'll be able to find it for yourselves. I'm going to give you a prescription.
Fantastic.
And the prescription is called DOSE. And DOSE stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And over the period of COVID, Dr. Ian Price and a colleague of his got together and said, you know what? There must be a quick way of people to be able to keep their health and well-being in check. Some really great ideas that he applies to his life, that his colleague applies to her life. And for those that are on social media, you can see that book in my hand now. And I met Dr. Ian Price a couple of weeks ago with my friend from Denmark, Jonas. And I'm very grateful, he gave me a copy of his book. And inside, after our conversation, very kindly said, "A kindred spirit, thank you, MJ." And here I am. He's director of Think It Out. And Ian Price, I have to say, has written a book that is digestible. It's 52 bite-sized, science-based tips that help you unlock and release and rewire your brain for more success, fulfillment, and happiness. And I just think dose is a great thing to dose yourself up with. And I want to celebrate this book. Now I've read it. And what I love about it is that they stack the doses. So you might have, I don't know, get some sunlight into your eyes first thing in the morning, last thing at night when the sun sets, and have a cold shower and a warm bath in the afternoon. 3 things, 4 things that you've stacked together, a bit like those supplements. You know, there are ways to create those neurotransmitters in your brain naturally. And if you want to know, again, beyond the tapping, I do transcendental meditation that actually creates what they refer to as the bliss brain, which is the 7 neurotransmitters that you can stack upon each other through meditation and literally create the brain of the mystics that used to sit on a mountain for 30 years to get such a gift. So I prescribed Dose to You by Dr. Ian Price this morning. It's a great small paperback. I think it retails at $12.99. But if you do want to know some of the dosed prescriptions from this, I'll be sharing them over the coming weeks, just 1 or 2 a week. So you'll be able to get those 52 if you hang in this room long enough. And I know that Dr. Price would adore me to share those with you, because he really is a man after my own heart. He's looking at well-being and joy and love and connection, and he's connecting me with some amazing organizations that, well, we just work beautifully together. So Alexia, thank you. I am grateful actually that you hold people accountable. And whilst I would say to people, outing people on Facebook may be a risky job, you know who you're outing and you know why you're doing it. And I trust that at your age, Alexia, you know exactly what you're doing with what you're doing. And I don't blame you whatsoever, because at the end of the day, my mum always used to say, once is a mistake, twice is a problem, and 3 times really shouldn't happen. And at the 3rd time, maybe people are just not taking any notice. And at the end of the day, fly tipping, which is what they're doing, is illegal. And it can cost you many thousands of pounds if you're caught. So you're saving those people from a whole host of problems, and indeed a criminal record which will stay on their file for years and years and years to come. And I know that because I'm employing somebody at the moment who 6 years ago, they did some fly tipping one Sunday when the tip was closed and they were frustrated and they dumped it on the side of the road or whatever. And it cost them nearly £2,000 and a criminal record later, because they hadn't taken that rubbish back to their own house and waited for another day. Hot-headed, see? Moving too quickly.
What you said about medications and vitamins, MJ.
Yes.
They're going to be listening to this and they're going to be watching TV. They've now started these adverts about taking all these multivitamins. Don't even bother. Because there is so little actual vitamin in their money. If you're going to do it and you're short of money, pick one good quality natural vitamin. If you don't know where, come to MJ, come to me, we'll put you onto something.
100%.
But rather than think I need half a dozen, if you buy these multivitamins, you're just wasting your money. You might as well just go and put that money down the drain. It is as simple as that. The chemical factories that make this don't want you to know that. MJ and I both know from experience there is only one type of thyroid tablet I can take. The rest send my body up the wall. I had a massive argument with my doctor here about that one. And during COVID, obviously, I had to have what I could get, and that really upset my body. I couldn't actually do without it. But, ever since I've been on it, I'm only on the 2nd dose that you can have. The minimum is 10 milligrams, I think, and I'm only on 15.
Amazing.
On that, ever since I had this diagnosed. So what you do with your house and what you eat does make a difference. And if you're eating properly, you won't have a problem losing weight, because it will come off anyway. Doing the right exercise. I'm hoping now I can go back to exercise. Cross your fingers, MJ, that the sciatica is on the way out, because then I can go back to exercising. I haven't made while I've got it, but it just irritates it.
I'm hoping so too. And I have to say, moving through those experiences, if I look back 5-6 years, well, who knew who knew we'd be where we were now? But it was a decision. It was a set of decisions, and it was a set of decisions every day. Not always perfectly, not always ideal, not always, I haven't always done everything I should do at all times. But I've certainly checked myself and rechecked myself and remade myself and recalibrated. And I think that if we can let go of shame and guilt and the ideology that we should be perfect, I think the greatest thing we can learn to say is, sorry, I messed up. I'm just human. I just think that is a great beginning of forgiving other people and ourselves, and accepting that people will learn in their own time. And I certainly have learned in my own time. And I think our body learns to react, respond, co-create in its own time once it gets the same message again and again and again and again and again and again. So I believe your sciatica will calm down, and I believe that, I'm just going to give you a nod and say I still take six reishi spore capsules a day, 100% organic, GMO. You know where it comes from, how it's grown, it's grown on the bark of trees in Canada, it's not in a polytunnel, it's not in plastic. And I am consistent in that, and it never changes. And I truly believe, whatever we say about placebos, that those people, and it's not just in the capsules, it's also in the Royal and the King coffee, and those people that have endometriosis stage 4, for example, and polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS as they're now calling it because it's so rife. Almost all women I know about PCOS now, and yet we never used to hear of it. It is because of what we are eating, how our hormones are, and my issues within the gynecological area have absolutely got under control in the last 5 years, and I don't have a problem at all. So I think we can change things. I just think it takes time and patience and repetition, and with that we can repeat just a few minutes. James, I've only got till 8 o'clock this morning. Sorry that the girls on the stage have taken all the time this morning, but I'm sure you are in the background, I don't know, sorting out your smoothies. How are you, James?
Well, I can't have cooking equipment in the room, so I have to cycle 3 miles to make a smoothie. But I have now got a process where I've got one made the night before, so I've got that repetition building. But it's to be fair, I'm very pleased where I am because I've got a good bed where I was. It was just the situation around it created my obviously number 5. My thyroid must have been minging up there because thankfully I have the CPAP machine, and some of the scores I've been getting in another memory foam bed. I think probably Lenny Henry would like this memory foam bed here, just saying. And I'm buzzing with it. No jokes at all. I'm absolutely loving the quality here. You don't need to buzz at your door. You can just walk around and see the very nice people. And they have there's loads of tea and coffee available for you, but I've got that covered. So I'm not using the tea, coffee, or milk. That means everyone else gets to drink lots of tea and coffee. But I've got the best tea and coffee here. So I've even got a lovely glass green bottle of organic ginger shot, and there's a spare one underneath the table there. But I'm looking at the table this morning, and I was helping a friend yesterday, a really good friend. She's in this position of her moving now, like I've been in a long drawn out like a tooth extraction type removal, but I don't think there was any pain relief for. I think it was just a pair of old pliers that they were using on me, but that's their choice to be like that. I've moved away from that, and I've noticed already that my sleep, my apneas, when I first got the CPAP machine in 2013, were off the charts. They literally got me a machine the next day because I was already on the ICU ward. But I wasn't in a bed. I was in one of these bariatric chairs because they were waiting for the bed to arrive.
Wow.
And when the bed came in, I was like, wow, that's one epic piece of JCB machinery, that mechanically, that bed. It was like a cross between a big yellow digger and other diggers are available depending which way you pay your tax bills, and a Meccano set, but I mean a Meccano set for a mammoth, for a giant. But as I say, my apneas per hour was 63, and so I was waking up 63 times in an hour, and they were like, "That's the third worst score we've ever seen." Actually, it's funny how social media listens to everything you say. And last week, some article came up on my feed, and this guy in the article was talking about the 41 he was getting, and the doctor said it was amazing he wasn't dead. And I'm thinking, 41, is that all you can take? Come on. I'll not swear and say up your scale a bit. But I was I was like, wow, so 42's bad then. 41's bad then, is it? 61.
What are you at now? What are you at now?
0.5.
Unbelievable.
I do know there are other areas, and I because of the it's dropping off the signal in here. So I missed number 4 and number 6. I'll do the replays because I know we're short on time. But I know when I had my bloods done last year before, in the middle of the summer, I had them done. So I'm going to have to, next couple of weeks, get them booked. But I kind of want to get another couple of weeks in at the swimming. And I have got a bit of a twist issue in my right knee at the moment. It's and obviously yesterday going up flights of stairs with light boxes into confined spaces. But I have been confined spaces trained, and I do know a lot about movements because obviously, like Alexia, if you've got difficulty in moving, you've got to learn how to pick yourself up off the floor. It still amazes me, MJ, that you can get yourself in and out of a swimming pool. I'm really pleased that I heard that this morning because I thought if they're still dragging on that HSE assessment, they need to. I was going to say they need to pull the finger out. Well, thankfully, the finger's been pulled out. So
by my solicitor.
Well, it's always interesting what a solicitor or a bit of poetry can gift you in life. I know that poetry definitely got rid of some bad litter that was in my life. And as I look at this beautiful green glass bottle in front of me, and they even got an olive oil glass bottle with one of them fancy clay stoppers in. And I've cleaned that bottle out because I use those bottles many times, the olive oil bottles, because I just put filtered water in them. And as I've got a large storage location that my friend was really impressed with yesterday, and I said, this is the next step that you've got to take. Yeah. But it's all about not getting a scrap container to store it, because there are storage yards, and then there is my storage yard. And I realised that sometimes, most of the time, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. And obviously, if you pay peanuts, you no longer have 5 shifts. You have 4 shifts because you have retention issues and leadership lacking skills. And that inspires beautiful pieces of poetry. And I'm just going to say amen on what do I do. And there was a person who I no longer have in my life, which is an absolute breast. I've no brown bottles in my room, though, strangely enough. But I have got a beautiful cardboard box that's a similar colour with gold on it. And that means I've got to treat myself to the kettle and the king now, because having spoken and pontificated, I feel like a king now.
Well, you are a king.
Thanks for lifting my spirits this morning, because the signal has dropped out. I've missed out on number 4 and number 6.
Don't
but
worry.
Clubhouse is so beautiful. It gives us replays
It
all
does.
the time. So I hope
Thank you.
everyone enjoys their replays today. And I'm going to let you summarise now. Have a great day, MK.
Thank you, James. You know, you're right. The back channel, the back catalogue here is phenomenal. And I led somebody to that the other day who said, where can I find out about this? And I said, go and look in the Inclusion House. There's loads of it. And then have a look at MJ's. We're at the top of the hour. But I'm just going to remind you that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. And the second best time is now. This Motivational Monday this week. Don't concentrate on being too hard on yourself, not on speed. Concentrate on the system, your system, the one that you are living in, this body that you get to work on. Don't concentrate on perfection. Concentrate on that consistency, because consistency compounds, and compounding consistency changes everything. Have the most magnificent Motivational Monday, and you too can make a change to you if you make those small decisions every day, day on day, until the end of those days. And by the way, I've been to the other side and it's really good there, so don't panic. This is forever. You are working on this body until the next bit. And whilst you're working on your body, you're working on your mind. And when you work on your mind, you work on your heart. And when you work on your heart and your mind, then your hands follow with good practice, good action, great decisions, and a magnificent future that you created. Happy, beautiful Monday to you. I've been MJ. You've been here in Motivational Monday. If you want to know how to contact my company on this site here, you will see a QR code on the top left, a www URL on the bottom left, might be right to you, and I'm there if you need me. Give us a shout. My team are ready to hear from you if workfulness is something that you think will give you purpose, as well as all these magnificent practices. Have a fantastic week. Blessings, and